Hi, everybody. I'm a racist. Or so I've been told an innumerable number of times. Today, I desire to go back and highlight some of the times that I was rightfully called racist and really apologize and atone for the error of my ways. The first time I can remember, I was 23 years of age, and I would go every single afternoon to Lincoln Park in Santa Monica to play basketball. It was a pretty diverse game, a pretty decent game most of the time. One afternoon, a group of five guys from South Central showed up to play. Their heights range from 6'3" to 6'8". Now, I was keeping us in the game single-handedly. I had scored five of our first six baskets, and I was jawing a little bit with my guy because the other team, as is the nature of basketball, you talk a little trash. And I crossed him over really good, hit a jump shot in his face, and then puffed out my chest and got a little bit cocky and said, "Man, you can't guard me. Y'all better put somebody on me that can." There was silence on the court. You could hear the ball bouncing on its own. And he came up and he got into my grill and he looked down at me and said, "Man, that is some racist shit right there." Because I go out of my way never to offend a man that much bigger than me, I shut up immediately. Today, in retrospect, however, I realized how wrong I was in drawing further attention and embarrassing him to the fact that a white boy was eating him alive on the basketball court. And his playing of the racist card was, in fact, his most effective form of defense that entire afternoon. Sir, I could never recognize you if I saw you again, and I don't know your name, but I know that I speak to you through our souls. And to you, sir, I offer you my most sincere and humble apology for the way I treated you that day. Then, for a long time, I managed to keep myself in check. Nobody was able to peer into my heart and see the racism that existed until a very perceptive lady did so nearing the end of the Obama administration. In that moment, looking back, I erred pretty badly. I told this very sensitive woman that all lives matter. Again, there was a pause, and she looked at me with her narrow, slanted eyes. She wasn't Chinese, so I think I'm allowed to say that. But she looked at me and said, "You only say that because you hate black people." Today, I hang my head in shame because I realize that in stating the value of one's life is immaterial of skin color, that I am demeaning the black race as a whole by calling my life or your life equal to theirs. For this, I feel absolutely terrible. And I hope that by just publicly acknowledging my error, that it will help begin to rectify some of the damage that I caused. I didn't understand it at the time, but my statement that two-parent families yield significantly better results than single-parent families do, for which an indignant white woman who I was conversing with immediately had the presence and foresight to admonish me for, and to tell me that I should never state such a thing, and that doing so made me a racist. I did not know that I had specified any single race, that I had singled anybody out. I thought that the style of parenting that I was espousing for would work for any color of skin, whether it's blue, purple, yellow, white, black, that it was immaterial. My original statement was wrong. I feel absolutely horrible for having stated that two-parent families yield significantly better results than single-parent families. You see, I said it again. Hey, love the sinner, hate the sin. For those of you good-hearted people who try to obfuscate the truth in an effort to shield certain segments of the population from facts that they don't want to hear, in an effort to protect them, I applaud you, and I recognize that I was wrong. I know that the percentage growth in single motherhood to 72% is merely a result of the growing systemic racism and oppression, which has dramatically escalated since we ended Jim Crow laws in the 1960s. I now understand that I am part of the problem, that I am part of the growth of systemic oppression and racism in our country. And I thank you so much, indignant white lady, who made me aware of this, who made me aware of the fact that I was being racist. I thank you with all my heart. Then, as the 2016 election drew closer, I was at a party conversing with a girl who looked like a mixture of various things, and I couldn't quite place it. And so I had the audacity to ask, "Excuse me, where are you from?" And her eyes narrowed and she glared at me and she says, "What a racist thing to ask." "Oh, no, don't get me wrong. You don't understand. I'm just saying that I couldn't place your accent and your look." "Oh, so now it's not only how I look, but also how I speak." Looking back, it was absolutely insensitive of me. I made her feel out of place. I should have never allowed my curiosity to allow me to broach such a sensitive subject. And for this, I truly am very, very sorry. Speaking of the United States, last year I made the strong emotional appeal that America is the land of freedom and opportunity. That if you work hard here, you can succeed. I meant every word of it at the time, and I fully believed it in the moment. The irate response naturally came back that somebody has never seen such a glowing depiction of white privilege, that it was only my white privilege which enabled me to succeed and to say such a thing when so many other people feel the oppression and the boot of America. Here is how ignorant I was in that moment. I was the one who got mad at her. I was the one who called her racist. I assumed that she thought that she knew everything about me based on my skin color, that she was assigning me an inherent value based on my whiteness. I accused her of being the one sowing division and dividing us based on race, when my statement, I believe, was meant as a hopeful one, as an inspirational one, as an encouraging one. I'm embarrassed at myself as I look back upon my actions. There is no defense for what I said, for my accusations of her. The only reason I now realize that I've had any success in my life is not for the hours that I dedicated towards work long after other people had gone to sleep. It wasn't because I saw the waves of economic opportunity as they began to swell and grow and caught that wave early. It was merely because of the color and the dint and preferential treatment I get due to my color of my skin. Again, I sincerely apologize for my original statement, as well as my unearned success. The last time I was rightfully accused of racism came just this week, and because it was done by so many people on Facebook, I know it has to be true. You see, I made a video about Ahmaud Arbery where I did not discuss the case itself, just stated that I would be very slow and hesitant to believe the media narrative that it was a racist murder of the first degree, that I wanted the evidence laid out. Of course, the reaction on Facebook to the video was swift and brutally honest. You see, I've been burned by the media in the past with their reporting of Michael Brown and the narrative that it was hands up, don't shoot, and that he was a gentle giant. That Trayvon Martin was a saint, and the Covington boys were evil incarnate as they stood there with a mocking gaze at an Indian man who approached them and began to beat a drum in their faces. But in this case, no chance that I should doubt for a second the outrage mob. If I don't immediately call it a racist murder, then I am part of the problem. I'm a racist. I'm a closeted KKK member, a member of the neo-Nazi community. Look, when enough people call you these names, you eventually just have to face what you truly are. Since when has the mob ever gotten something wrong? To the high priests and priestesses of the Church of Woke, I acknowledge my sins, I beseech your forgiveness, and I seek absolution for my grave, grave errors. I recognize that you alone hold the key to the paradise and the utopia that you have created, where there's no indignation, where people live in harmony with one another, where there is no jealousy. And I, too, wish to enter this heaven. I, too, wish to be part of your clan, 1K, not 3. And I beseech you to at least allow me to go through life with forgiveness, and we can pretend, at least around my family, that I don't have the scarlet R letter around my chest. I recognize and I apologize for the grievous errors that I've made, and I hope that you will accept my apology